Eternal God, whose presence is over all of us, help us through our prayers and our deeds to be able to build trust in our world. We ask you to spread your shelter of peace over all dwellers on earth, over all lands and peoples affected by war or fear of war, bringing calm to conflict and peace of mind to all who live in fear. We ask you to grant safety to those who guard and those who watch, and skill to those who must take difficult decisions, so that they be always guided by the need to prevent harm to the innocent. May we in our days learn to overcome prejudice and anger, hatred and fear, so that we may learn to live side by side in peace and harmony. May your divine presence, your light and your love shine down upon our troubled world, comforting the bereaved, helping the wounded, soothing all pain, enabling us to raise our spirits of hope and understanding, so that in our lifetime we shall know and behold, in the words of the psalm, Hine matu umat natim shevet achim gam yachad, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. Amen. Thank you, Rahib, for inviting me to today's conference. At least a lot of my 7 minutes, if I was to say my lords and all the other dignitaries here, would be taken up. So I'll just say to one and all, thank you, and thank you for welcoming me. Until last night, I didn't know how to start this address, and having listened today to the speakers, I almost feel inclined to tear it up and start again, because so much will have been said already. But at least I'm not the last one to speak, in which case everything would have been said already, I'm sure. Last night I went to an inspirational evening of song by the Zemel Choir, together with the Vienna Jewish Choir. The latter were doubtless second or third generation survivors of the Nazi extermination camps. And there was no retaliation in their wonderful voices. And first on the program, they sang this song, which set the mood for the evening. And I hope that will be a good omen if I were to try the same here again. How I ended that prayer. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brothers to dwell together in unity. I'm privileged to be in the company of so many learned and distinguished people. Without being accused of sexist, may I call you brothers, but I've just learned I should be saying brothers and sisters now. As a Jew, a very ordinary, even extraordinary Jew, I'm uncomfortable representing any one specific section of British Jews, mindful of the Jew alone on a desert island who built himself 2 synagogues, the one in which to pray and the other one that he would avoid at all costs. Like most of us here, I suspect this is just one of many meetings that we go to where interfaith, peace, harmony, love, justice, compassion are discussed. To successfully engage in discussion with other faiths, brothers and sisters, we need first to understand not them, but ourselves. Who we are, what we are, why we are. If we dare, and I do dare, we have to start at the very beginning. Are you sitting comfortably? Well, all the addresses that we hear do tend to shield us from reality. They make us feel good, confirm our best intentions, uplift our souls, even maybe bring us closer to the divine. But if you are sitting comfortably, I want just for a moment to remove the cushion of comfort and invite you to engage just in a couple of minutes of self-examination, understanding ourselves, our commonalities. They really start with our conception. We had no control over that. And yes, we were each conceived in exactly the same way. And being born, we did not choose either to be born or who our parents would be. And our parents as well. They were taught by their parents and they taught us. And we have or may teach our own children. So in a strange way, perhaps not too comfortable of thought, we are who we are and what we are by a matter of chance. Broadly speaking, with due respect, be you a priest or a vicar or a rabbi or an imam or simply a follower of a faith, it really was a matter of chance that made us who we are, what we are, and why we are. That then is the often unmentioned or unmentionable first commonality between all of us. Us all, not the others, but all of us, we who are sat round this room today. Chance rather than design has brought us together, each in our particular dress, each with our particular calling, each with our title, and yes, each with our armour. It's a fair cert that of all of us who have been to many meetings, many meetings, listening to and taking part in calls for peace, putting it rather simply and possibly disturbingly, though I hope nobody will be offended, and I make no apologies for any discomfort, we've heard it all before. What particularly appealed to me when I was invited about the Mankind Welfare Trust, though, was that this is not so much about talk, it is about action. And action extends well beyond, whilst not excluding, the giving of money. I like the word welfare, and I like the word trust. The word charity, and I love words, comes from the Latin charitas, meaning high regard or love. It's a voluntary act. In Judaism, however, and it would seem in Islamic law too, it is rather an obligation, a required act, what we describe as a mitzvah. Our Talmud describes tzedakah as equal in importance to all the other commandments combined. Normally, by tradition, one is required to say a blessing before doing almost anything, eating a meal, washing one's hands, seeing the sun. We don't have to do that too often at the moment, and on and on. But there is no blessing one gives before doing a good act like tzedakah, because the rabbis have always said to do that would delay helping a human being in need. With words to God, God, they said, can wait. The poor person cannot wait. Taking my lead from that without delay, let me share with you my modest contribution to practical interfaith in our community. I live in Harrow, the borough with the largest ethnic mix in the UK. Harrow Bereavement Care, which I chair, aims to relieve the anxiety and sometimes shock, sometimes anger, bewilderment, inability to cope, and much more, caused by bereavement. Maybe a death after a long illness, or equally suddenly without warning. It might be a parent, it could be a child, a neighbour, a friend, or work colleague. It may be natural, it could be murder, or suicide, or accident. Our trained visitors, we have over 100, know how to listen, and last year we visited over 600 people in their homes, or saw them in our drop-in centres. At a recent conference panel, that consisted of a Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, Baha'i and Hindu, and each spoke about their religion slant and what death meant, and most importantly, how they dealt with care and support for the bereaved. That is what I mean by interfaith in action. We reach far beyond the Harrow area. If anybody wants to know more about it, I'll be more than pleased to give them information. Another matter is that we don't really think, do we, that we're going to really achieve peace after this evening? I don't think so. But Rabbi Tartan is often quoted as saying, and I'm sure you've heard this before, it is not incumbent upon you to complete the work, but neither are you at liberty to desist from it. And I think that's terribly important. And his words very much apply to our deliberations this day. Time does not permit me to expand on all the possible situations that we could create in actively promoting interfaith activities. However, do please have regard for my suggestion of more activities and less emphasis on talking. I'm sure that's the way forward, and I want to end with a suggestion that I hope may be taken seriously by the Mankind Welfare Trust. It is to announce a day or a week next year when people of all faiths may come together and donate blood. Together with the help and guidance of the appropriate agencies, Muslim, Christian, Jew, and indeed every faith, unless of course there are religious objections, would come together and donate blood. In any language, this would be a blessing. The significance of this particular act, though, I suggest, goes way beyond the usual interfaith alliances. If this meeting likes the suggestion, and if the Mankind Welfare Trust feel that it is within their ability to take a lead, I will do what I can in my small way to involve the Jewish community too. I referred briefly to the jigsaw puzzle of peace. This project, I suggest, would give us the 4 essential corners of the puzzle. We, in our lifetime, realistically, may not complete the task. But my friends, my brothers and sisters, dare we desist from it. Thank you very much.